ओम अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाजनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिनि। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे। So today we'll be covering two shloks from chapter number 2, 46 and 47, and then we'll sing the bhajan Chorashtakam, and we'll also hear the story of Krishna kidnapping Rukmani, and then we'll also recite the Govardhanam mantra, and then we'll recite chapter number 15, and then the Tulsi Arti. So we'll just go to the shlokas first. यावना अर्थ उत्पाने सर्वतः संलुप्त उद्दके तावान सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्रह्मणस्य विजानतः। Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purpose of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So we'll see this shloka first. So here we see that Srila Prabhupada uses this analogy of small well. So we see that the small well is having a very limited function when you compare with fully served reservoir of water. Similarly, one who understands the ultimate purpose of Vedas, he knows Krishna and all his needs are spiritual needs, basically, are satisfied. So you see that in earlier ages, in especially in villages, there used to be separate wells. So these separate wells, why there are separate wells? Because one serves for drinking purpose, one they reserve it for the Abhishekam, Lord's Abhishek purpose. One well is for cooking, one may be for bathing. So wherever there was no river, so they used to have separate wells, each serve in a different purpose, right? So even now, if you see in present days where people have very limited space and less greenery and nature, even in flats, especially for in devotees flat, you see you have a separate uh, wash area for deities cleaning and cooking tap water, and separate place for the devotees usage. So in earlier era, if there was a big reservoir of some flowing river, then all purposes are met, right? Because it's a flowing water. So there is no point of contamination or, impurity. So a river water flows, so you can actually use it for the purpose of drinking, cooking, and also you take that water for uh, Lord's Abhishek or for cooking, prasadam, things like that, right? So that was the case, right? So now, if you see, also Prabhupada is saying here, ki what is the purpose of Vedas? Actually, the purpose of knowing Vedas is not to gain the knowledge. So definitely it is to gain the knowledge, but what is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal of reading all these Ved Puranas is to know Lord. And in Kali Yuga, people says that Vedas are not for Kali Yugas, right? It used to be in the past eras, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, not for Kali Yuga. But actually, you see, Lord gave these Vedas just before Kali Yuga starts. And he did during the Mahabharata time, he spoke Bhagavad Gita. So he was aware that the Kali Yuga is about the Kali is going to come. So now we are seeing the dance or the fury of Kali, right? What is happening everywhere? There is a war, there is distress, frustration, anxiety. So these are all the traits of Kali Yuga. So Lord was knowing this very well. So just before Kali Yuga begins, he gifted us Bhagavad Gita. So, but people have this misconception that, Vedas are not actually for Kali Yuga. But strictly speaking, Vedas are very important and it is must necessary, very necessary for Kali Yuga. Otherwise, life is so difficult. Many of the devotee realized and can say with experience, with firm determination that how their life is before and now after practicing Krishna consciousness, how their life is going. So until unless we practice, it's very difficult to know that. And so, what is the ultimate goal of this knowledge? So, first of all, we have to understand this reading Vedas or Upanishad or Vedanta is not the end of in itself, right? So, many people think that I have read Vedas, Upanishad, so I have done. So, I have all the knowledge. So, nothing, I don't have to do anything, right? So, what happens is, first of all, we have to understand this. Learning all the Vedas and Upanishads are not possible in today's Kali Yuga. Why is that? So you have this four Vedas, right? And so many Upanishads are there, right? So in today's age, in Kali Yuga, it is not possible to read all these Vedas, first of all. Even the scholars find it so difficult and time consuming. So the main reason is that is the one of the property of Kali Yuga is that we have very limited time. Earlier, people used to live for thousand and 100,000 years, right? That was the lifespan of an individual person. But now you see, even it's like somebody lives for 100 years, it's a big achievement. Not only that, day by day we are reducing and we have less intelligence, right? We cannot, we have very limited memory nowadays. We cannot tell yesterday what we have eaten for lunch or dinner. Very difficult to, we have to recollect, forget about 3, 4 days back what we did. So these are all the traits of Kali Yuga. We have got very limited time. We don't know. The next second we are going to stay here. And our intelligence, our memory is so poor nowadays. And you see, because of now coming new technologies, right? Like all this AI and all this chat GPT and all, that will in turn cause your memory and intelligence more limited. Everything you will be depending on the robots and the external entities. So what will happen? Your memory intelligence will be more shrinking and reducing. So that is ultimately what will happen in Kali Yuga. So people think that, so first of all, this Vedas is so difficult to understand and it is very time consuming, very difficult to. So, like, you know, Lord has given us Bhagavad Gita. It's in concise form. And Srila Prabhupada, he gifted us all this in one summary, which is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. You see, it is all this, the goal and the purpose is only to know Lord. The ultimate reason of doing this bhakti is to know about Lord, right? So many people who thinks ki they are become a scholar by reading all those Vedas and Upanishad, they thinks that ki, I'm a big scholar now, I know everything. He don't think anybody or any other person in front of him building all his egos and things like that. But actually, this is all of no use if you don't actually have the bhakti. The ultimate purpose is to develop the love for God and build a bhakti for God. So that is the ultimate goal. So the ultimate knowledge remains incomplete and ineffective. Like just similar to what happens when you consume food, okay, and your body cannot digest. So what is the use? You are just eating, you are thinking you are getting a lot of nutrition. But actually, if your body is not able to digest it, it's all waste. So that is how this academic knowledge of learning all these Vedas and Upanishad, you are getting all the certificates, but everything is incomplete and ineffective if you could not understand Lord and develop the bhakti. So we have to understand this. We that in current age, the human have very limited lifespan, right? Very limited lifespan, very limited intelligence. We have very limited time. So what is prescribed here? So all the Maharaj and in all Upanishads, you see the path of prescription to us in this age is Nam Sankirtan, right? That is the chanting of holy name of Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, by performing devotional service to Krishna, one automatically fulfill all his, basically all his duties. So, what is the how we should approach in, for the spiritual life? So, by reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, under the especially under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, or at least in the association of devotees. So that is why you see that it's not matter whether you know attend these courses of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Puran one time, two time. It should be continuous. It should be keep on until we are here in this bhulok. We should not stop, and it should be strictly under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master. That is must. We should hear our spiritual master, right? If we don't have our spiritual master, we should plan it immediately because as we were discussing, we don't know how much time we have. So, or at least we should have in the association of the devotees, which is very important, right? So, this consistent practice will lead us to self realization and which will bring us deep satisfaction, peace of mind, right? Not only that, also divine joy. So that you might be realizing if you are practicing it from some time, right? So that is about the first shloka. And then we'll go to the second shloka, which is also very famous shloka. And it is famous, but actually it is the most misunderstood verse also. So, कर्मण्ये वादिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतु भू मा मा ते संग अस्तु अकर्मणि. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruit of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. So, we say that this is very much misunderstood verse. Why? Because people thinks and people say, I am doing my work, right? I am doing my work, and that is only the karma, and Lord has told us to do karma, so I am doing my karma. So where is wrong in that, and why I should actually do anything else? Why I should read Vedas and Puranas? So that is the reason why it is often very misunderstood verse. So actually you see here, this verse actually we divide this into four essential points. And that actually clarifies how one should approach their duties. So how these four essential points clarifies your duties. So first is you have a right to perform your duties, right? So that it says, right? So you have the right to perform your duties. So we are all entitled to perform our prescribed duties. So you see here prescribed duties. So very important. When you go to a doctor, he prescribes medicine, right? So these are not duties. Prescribed duties is understanding prescribed duty is very important. And we have to understand that we are not the ultimate controller of the result. So one thing is we have to perform our duties and not to bother about the end results, right? So that is the first essential point. And then the second essential point is do not be motivated by the result. So we should not focus on the outcome or consider ourselves as the cause of the fruits of our action. So what happens? The Prabhupada gives this analogy, right? And a student who works hard to study but leave the final grading and result to the teacher. So, but many students, they actually, before even writing the exam, they start thinking about the result and they become so frustrated and so depressed. What will happen? How I will perform? What will be my grades? So do not be motivated by the results. You just perform your actions and let the result delivered by the other, right? Especially God. If you see that whatever you do, it is not under your control. Actually, there are different factors. And the ultimate factor is Lord approval. And the third essential point is do not be attached to inaction. So one should never actually tempted to abandon their duties out of frustration or lack of desired results. So many people neglect, right? Or may say ki when Lord is the ultimate cause and the doer, then why I should do the work itself? Why should I perform my activities? But we have to understand that that is why it is very important to read this Bhagavad Gita because here we have provided with prescribed duties. So when any problem happened, the flu or cold happened to us, We don't go directly to the pharmacy and take medicine, but many people do that. But what is actual thing? We should consult the doctor. He will prescribe what to eat and what to avoid, and we follow that. So similarly, Bhagavad Gita is our prescribed duties. We should follow that. So without that, it is very difficult, right? And then what happens? If you don't follow that, you will know what is the difference between karma, vikarma, and akarma. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly described that any action can be categorized into these three: karma, vikarma, and akarma. So, what is karma? So, karma is performing your duties as prescribed by God and the scriptures, right? So, that is performing your duties. And what is vikarma? Vikarma is engaging in forbidden acts like intoxication or any kind of violence that will lead to negative consequences. And then you have the akarma. Akarma is the ideal state where one perform their duties as a offering to God without any attachment. So that ultimately lead to liberation. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us that. So then we can understand ki how, if we need, everybody need liberation, right? Because there is so much suffering. So just by doing karma is not give you liberation. You have to do a karma for the pleasure of Lord, duties for the pleasure of Lord. Then Lord will take care of all other needs. So performing one's duty under the guidance of a guru and keeping Krishna at the center of all your action. Whatever you do, just you have to ask yourself one simple question: whether whatever I am doing, will it pleasure Lord? And then actually we can get out of this cycle of birth and death. Because we are actually trying to please Lord rather than personal gain. If we do that, then Lord will take care of all our needs. That is guaranteed and told in the Vedas. So that is about these two shlokas. So we'll move. Anybody want to add anything or any questions? We'll, if there is no questions, we'll move to Chorashtakam. Shri Shri Chorashtakam. So who will take the opportunity? So we'll cover like three. Total there are uh, 8 shlokas in Chorashtakam. So uh, as you know that Chora means thief. So Lord was also a thief, right? May it be the butter or anything. So it is also written based on that. So we'll cover three shlokas every day till Purushmata Mas ends. So first 3 shlokas, who would like to take the opportunity and sing?
May I, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes, please.
Shri Shri Chauragraganya Purushattakam Braje Pashiddham Navaleetacharam Gopangananam Chadukulecharam Anek Papachauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami चौरग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि क्षीराधिकाय हृदयस्य चौर नमग्धश्यामलकान्ति चौरं पदाश्रितानां च शमस्तचौरं चौडाग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि अकिञ्चनैकेतपदास्त्रितर्जं करोति भिक्खो न पथि गहीनं केनापयो भीषणचोरन्तिक दृष्टं श्रुतो वा न चक्रियपि व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचारं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकूलचौरम् अनेकजन्मार्जिते पापचौरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी और माता जी।
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Somebody want to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I
Hare
read them?
Krishna, Mataji. Yeah, please.
I offer pranama to the foremost of thieves, who is famous in Raja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. Should I continue, Prabhuji, or someone else will read?
Anybody want to read further? Second
Hare
one.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I offer pranama to the foremost of thieves who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody want to
Hare
read that?
Krishna, Hare Krishna. He turns
Hare
his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggars. Aho, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all these three worlds. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we'll continue again tomorrow, verse 3. Now we'll see the pastime when Krishna actually kidnaps Rukmani. So we see that the scenario here, Lord is in Dwarka and Lord Krishna received a secret letter from whom? From Princess Rukmani. And the letter was delivered by a old-aged Brahmana. And Lord is actually reading that message. So earlier we used to have postman like this, right? Somebody will go to that other place and deliver the message. So here we see that before the kidnap happens of Rukmani, right? So this old Brahmana, he took lot of risk. Why? Because what is the scenario here? The Princess Rukmani, she was forced to get married to this cruel Shishupal against her will. And only 3 days are left out. So she was very nervous. So she told this Brahmana to give the message to Lord Krishna. Why? Because she used to like Lord Krishna and she wanted to marry her. Also, we see that even Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna was very much in love with Rukmani. So this letter was delivered to Krishna in Dwarka, and Krishna just received this secret letter because if anybody from Rukmani's side they were able to catch that, then it will be a very difficult situation. They may even kill this Brahmana who was the messenger, right? So this letter is actually a plea for rescue because Rukmani was about to get married to this cruel Shishupala. We know Shishupala, how cruel he was, and only 3 days were left out. So After reading this letter, Krishna he took a vow. What was it? He was he told that not only he will rescue Rukmani, but he will also crush all these low class kings. He mentioned this as low class king. So because this Shishupala, they invited all these kings, like all this Jarasanga and others. Right? So these are considered as low class kings. Why they were considered as low class king? Because these kings they used to oppose Lord Krishna, right? They never used to like Krishna. So that is why they were, Lord is mentioning that not only he will rescue her, but he will also crush all these low class kings. And then he instantly tell his driver, his name was Daruka, to get prepared and prepare the divine chariot for the journey to Vidarbha. So Rukmani was located in Vidarbha, right? And Lord Krishna was in Dwarka. So this chariot is mentioned as divine chariot because it used to take many days, I think, to reach from Dwarka to Vidarbha. But due to this divine chariot, they can reach very fast. Now you see this Brahmana, he was very interested by Rukmani. That is why she is delivering her confidential letter through this, right? And risking his life, not only his life, but her life, and to travel to Dwarka and deliver the message. And one can also realize her distress, Rukmani's distress, what is the gravity of her distress? Because she is forced to send this letter, which if anybody can see, can be a deep consequences. And this chariot is called as Jaitra. It's not a ordinary vehicle. It is Krishna's celestial chariot, right? Called as Jaitra. And it is, the driver is Daruka. Yeah. Okay. He is capable. So the chariot as well as the driver is capable of tremendous speed of driving this and reaching Vidarbha in just one single night. So time is actually running out. He has to reach and free Rukmani from that cruel person, right? So then we see that inside the fort, the city of Kundila. So who was the king? The king was Bhishmaka. So he is preparing for the grand wedding of this Shishupala and Rukmani. So you can see he was cleaning all the roads and all the intersections. And also we can see that all the enemies kings, so what earlier Krishna referred as low class kings. So all these enemy kings, they are making the conspiracy, right? So you see all these kings in that these kings they are also very powerful kings, right? Like Jarasanga was there, Salva, Dantavakra, they are all gathered and they are planning together to fight with Krishna because they are also having a doubt that Krishna will come there and interfere in that wedding. So in that case, if Shishupal is not able to fight with Krishna, then all these kings, right? Rival kings like Jarasanga, Salva, and Dantavakra, they will actually fight with Krishna and take Rukmani. So these are all the planning that were happening. So learning all this plan, we can also see that Lord Balrama, he started gathering his entire Yadava army because he was aware that the moment Krishna and Balram go there in Vidarbha, they will get opposition and they will have a fight. So to prepare that, Lord Balrama, he gathered an entire army and he was getting ready to head towards Vidarbha. So we see that. So now in this conspiracy, this Jarasangha, he was, as we know that, he was also a very powerful king of Magda kingdom, right? So he has long history of enmity with Krishna. So like that, so the kings, they are also prepared to kidnap Rukmani. So you see here, Krishna is also planned to kidnap Rukmani and take away. And whereas all these enemy kings, they are also preparing to kidnap Rukmani. If Krishna comes there and, this Shishupal loses. So all these plannings were going on. And then we see that the previous night before the wedding, right? The Princess Rukmani, she was in a deep anxiety and she has not seen the Brahmana return because she sent this letter through Brahmana, but this Brahmana, he is not returned yet. That is why she was very anxious. So there was even no sign of Krishna coming. So she was in pale, she was restless, and she was actually cursing her bad fortune. Now nothing can be save her fortune, right? So suddenly what happened? She experienced a very good moment. Her left eye started twitching. So the moment later she saw that this aged Brahmana or the messenger, he reappears. So that brings some relief to her. Okay. So then he gave the message that Krishna has given from promises. And Krishna told that he will kidnap her and defeat all the enemies. So don't worry. So that way her hope is also restored. He was little satisfied, right? And also told her to come to the Ambika temple. So then we see there that ki, uh, early morning next day, at the day of wedding, so yeah, we know that the bride goes to the temple, right? So she went to this Ambika temple in the morning with her friend. So she leave the palace and she was surrounded by so many guards, right? All the bodyguards, basically. So uh, by seeing Rukmani in the ground or near the temple, every king or every citizen who actually saw Rukmani, they were getting so excited and emotion emotional, and they were actually fainting. Why? Because Rukmani, she looked so beautiful. So everybody started collapsing. All the guards, their weapons started falling. So as she was so beautiful, right? So that's what we are seeing here. But what was happening after just taking the visit from the Ambika temple, she started actually spotting, or she started looking for Krishna, and she spots Krishna nearby, and she saw that Krishna was actually waiting nearby. So it was big relief for her just by seeing Krishna, and What happened next, we'll see in the next part, because today we are covering the first part of this pastime. So we'll end up this story here, right? So we see that Krishna is waiting beside for Rukmani, and Rukmani actually spotted Krishna. So now we'll move to next part, Govardhanam. Who want to actually recite this? So three devotee should take the opportunity, 11 times each. Who want to go first?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Shall I, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Amrita Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Govardhanam dharam vande gopalam goparupinam gokulostavam ishanam govindam gopika priyam mande navagana shyamam dibujam muralidharam pīthāmaradharam devam sharadham purushottamam govardhanadhanam vande gopalam goparupinam gokulostavam ishanam govindam gopika priyam mande navagana shyamam dibujam muralidharam pīthāmaradharam devam sharadham purushottamam Govardhanadhanam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulosavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharatam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulosavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharatam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulosavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulosavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulosavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulosavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokuloswam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokuloswaam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulosama Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navagana Shyamam Dibujam Muralidharam Pīthāmbaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Amrita Mataji. Who want to read next?
Yes,
Hare Krishna Mataji, please.
Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavishanam Govindam Gopikapriyam Vande Navadhanashyamam Jammurilidharam Pītāmbaraധാരം Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavishanam Govindam Gopikapriyam Vande Navadhanashyamam Jammurilidharam Pītāmbaraധാരം Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavishanam Govindam Gopikapriyam Vande Navadhanashyamam Divijamuralidharam Pītāmbaraധാരം Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavishyanam Govindam Gopikapriyam Vande Navadhanashyamam Divijamuralidharam Pītāmbaraധാരം Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Govardhanadharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavishyanam Govindam Gopikapriyam Vande Navadhanashyamam Divijamuralidharam Pītāmbaraധാരം Devam Sharadam Purushottamam गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलस्य ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलस्य ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवैशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवैशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवैशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवैशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नमघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Who want to go next?
May I, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Swasini Mataji, please.
गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So we'll now read the shlokas, 20 shlokas from chapter number 15. Who want to take this opportunity?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Kamala Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
please.
Hare Krishna. श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता यथारूप अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः पुरुषोत्तमयोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलम् अधः शाखम् अश्वत्थम् प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृत्ता विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूल्याननुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेन सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः त्वमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यथा यथा प्रवृत्ति प्रसुता पुराणी.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषः अध्यात्मा नित्या विनिवृत्तकामः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसज्ञै गच्छन्त्यमूढा पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा नानिवर्तन्ते तत्धामं परमं मम.
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्.
श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणम् एव च अधिष्ठायामधिष्ठायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः
यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्तात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त चेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयामहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मक अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणपानसमायुक्तः पञ्चामन्नं चतुर्विधम्
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेद्विदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषं लोके क्षराक्षर एव च क्षर सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थो अक्षर उच्यते.
उत्तमपुरुषस्त्व अन्यः परमात्मेत्य उदारतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्य अव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरम् अतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः
यो माम् एवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्या बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत. ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll move to Tulsi Aarti, who want to sing, and if you all can also show your Tulsi Maharani, that will be also very good. Who want to sing? First Tulsi Pranam Mantra.
Shall sing, Prabhuji.
Yes, please, Mataji.
I'll show Prabhuji.
Yes.
Just one second, please. Terrible. Speakers. फोटो पे कर लीजिए. I.
Hello, Mataji, you want to start?
Start.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Tulsi Pranam Mantra. Vrindyai Tulsi.
Sorry, Mataji. I'm so sorry. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. वृन्द्याय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियायै केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्तिप्रदिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः. वृन्द्याय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियायै केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्तिप्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः. वृन्द्याय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियायै केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्तिप्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः. नमो नमः. तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः. राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो प्रिय नमो नमः. तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः. তোমার শরণ লয় তারা বাঞ্ছা পূর্ণ হয় কৃপা করি করো তারে বৃন্দাবনবাসী নমো নমঃ. তুলসী কৃষ্ণ প্রেয়সী নমো নমঃ. Morae Vilas Kunche Diova Nayana Haribo Sada Yugalaru Parashi Namo Namaha. Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namaha. ये निवेदन धर सकीरनगत करो सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी नमो नमः. तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः. दीन कृष्ण दासे कोय हे मोर होय श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा ये न बासी नमो नमः. तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः. यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय वृंदे देवी जय वृंदे देवी जय वृंदे देवी जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल विन्द्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च पृष्ठभक्ते प्रति देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः विन्द्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च पृष्ठभक्ते प्रति देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः वृन्द्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्ति प्रति देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः जय श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय
पुरुषोत्तम की
श्रील प्रभात की जय पुरुषोत्तम
थैंक
मास
यू
की
महाराज।
जय समवेत
थैंक यू
गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि
हरि
हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू प्रभु जी for the opportunity
थैंक यू बोलना माता जी, थैंक यू सुमंत्र माता जी।
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Dhanavad Pranam to all devotees.
Dandavat
Hare
pranams
Krishna.
to everybody. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
थैंक यू
thank you mata ji
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank
thank
you.
you
Hare
prabhu ji
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Thank
धन्यवाद
you,
धन्यवाद
बोलेंगे।
Prabhuji.
Pranam
Thank
to
you,
all.
devotees. Dhanavad
Hare
pranam to
Krishna,
प्रणाम प्रभु।
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna to all the devotees assembled here. Hare Krishna.